I'm back, boys. Yo, what's poppin', fool? Hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys are doing great. I'm feeling good. I know it's been a bit in a tit, but I'm back. Yeah, let's get into this. So again, standard stuff. If you haven't already followed me, go ahead and follow me. If you don't want to, it's cool. First link in the description leads to my Telegram channel. You get to study some shit. Okay, cool. So let's get into what I made this video for, which is just a bit of revision. All right, and I'm also going to be going over this. Okay, it's really annoying that I have my mic in front of my computer, in front of my keyboard and my monitor, but I want to be going over this. This is an FOMC, I believe, influenced by. This was just a buy I took. I don't even care about the news. It's just that when I check, like on forexfactory.com, that there's a news at a certain time, I'm like, oh, I should probably just wait 5 to 10 minutes before and plan my trade then, because it's probably going to really influence, and like it's like steroids or Viagra to my trade, if you will. So yeah, I want to go over this. How exactly I planned it. So you know what, I did give you guys examples here, but I think it's better if we make a video. Why not, right? So okay, cool. Let's get into this, and we can probably refer back to the notes in AKFX as well. Alrighty, so what exactly did I see? Well, on a higher time frame, am I bullish or am I bearish? I'm clearly bullish on a higher time frame. However, when it comes to the daily, we are bearish, at least as of here. Right? As of here, we were bearish. Why? Lower highs and lower lows. However, for me, will I sell? No, I will not sell, because we are in an area that makes sense for me to buy. Why do I say that? Well, we have ourselves a daily strong low. Okay, by the way, for those of you guys wondering, well, Avi, because I keep on saying a bunch of times, you know, that, oh, this is not a relative equal low, it's actually blah blah blah. This is the definition of relative equal highs, okay, where the second leg doesn't surpass the first one. All right, and I'll show you guys more examples of this in a second. All right, this is obviously a stop on, that's very clear, but yeah, you get the point. Okay, so coming back to this though, we have ourselves a stop hunt here, all right, and a break of structure, and of course this being the inducement of lower prices or liquidity for the lower prices, and yeah, price hits down. Now, one thing that doesn't make for a very nice weekly strong low, my bad, doesn't make for a very nice weekly strong low, is that from this low we actually failed to make a higher high. Yeah, we actually never broke any structure on the weekly, so this would more so be kind of a confluence. This is what I mean by being flexible and having experience with the markets. Audio is good, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, this is what I mean by being flexible and having experience with the markets. You know, it's a daily setup in the sense that it's a daily strong low, right? So you can go ahead and mark it all you want. I'm just gonna mark it in here so that you guys understand. Daily strong low, and then of course this would be the week high. Doesn't mean price is gonna get here. It's just that this is a reason. For you to take a buy instead of a sell. Simple as that. Besides that, when we check in terms of like smart money and ICT, or even supply and demand, which is really where this stemmed from, we'll look at our approach. We have ourselves compression, meaning where we have a higher time frame zone, all right, whatever your higher time frame reasoning may be, you have price coming down, and then it's not just like with momentum, boom, right? It's coming down and then it's just slowing down a little bit. What that's doing, it's compressing. Actually, that's the right term to use. It's compressing, and we can speculate that we're building up liquidity before dealing whatever we want to deal with, and then hit to take all that liquidity one shot. Okay, and so that's exactly what I'm speculating, at least on EU, right? Because if you observe, we have this daily strong low. We don't need to type this to be a daily weak high. We understand it. It's going to take ages before we ever get up here, if we do. But my ultimate target, because I am in a swing, would be up here, and I'll explain that in a second. Okay, but yeah, pretty much. So when it comes to the setup in itself, there wasn't really too much for me to take out of the weekly, besides the fact that when we look at this buy range, right, we are kind of in the low areas of the buy range. That's it. I don't even use premium and discount, or at least I didn't even really pay much attention to it back when I was using SMC, but it is a great confluence to add, especially when you're trying to look for trades to last. It makes a lot of sense for you to be buying low and, you know, holding it until price is high. But anyway, coming back to this though, we have ourselves a POI, at least from here, daily, all right? Okay, we can see we have this daily strong low, right? Makes absolute sense. Now, when it comes to this POI, what POI is this? This is exactly a daily demand. Okay, this is a daily demand. We can go ahead and type that in. Okay, we have our daily demand over here. And what would I do personally when I'm facing a zone that is over what? 60 pips? Never mind, 50 pips. I'm sorry, I'm very used to gold. 50 pips. When we have a zone that's super huge like this, it's very normal for you to go to a lower time frame. Now, before we hit to a lower time frame, however, to refine the zone, again, we're not looking for entries. We're just looking for a zone where it's not too big to where we're just going to be, you know, messing ourselves over with the lower time frame QMs that we want to look for. Okay? So yeah, before I get into that, what I wanted to say was, all right, you know what? I've just lost my train of thought. Let me take a sip of chai. I apologize, guys. Give me like 5 seconds. Right. I got what I wanted to say back. What exactly am I seeing here, right? It's the same old thing repeated over and over again. Why am I even going with this strong low? Took liquidity, broke structure, being induced. Simple as that. You know what I mean? This whole sell to buy, it's being induced. And it's responsible for manipulation and a significant break of structure. We've gone over all of that stuff. If you're not familiar with what we're saying, go to the first video that I ever posted on AKFX channel. Price in here now. What would I do? This is a daily demand. I don't place too much emphasis on the weekly, but I do understand. And why I don't place too much emphasis on the weekly is because we never had a weekly breakout to the upside. But I do understand as a confluence that we are trading within the weekly bullish OB. That's something that I'm just keeping in the back of my mind. More so, I'm paying attention to this daily demand or daily bullish OB. Well, the daily bullish OB, you would rather draw it something like this. But anyway, coming back to that, daily demand. What I would like to see for a safe execution of buys, we're dealing with the daily. Again, keep that weekly at the back of your mind. I would love to observe H4 QMs bullishly to be made. All right. Now this can be seen elsewhere as well. For example, right here. This is a beautiful buy, and when you understand it from a higher time frame, it's just absolutely wonderful. Okay. On a lower time frame, we have something like this. Again, this is some stuff that you may be unclear with, but with experience, you will get it. I absolutely love this example here, right? We have this SH, strong high, okay? Liquidity inducement for this guy to be bought from, all right? Liquidity inducement for this guy to be bought from, which you can see there is a reaction, all right? And then we trade it right back to what? A hidden base, right? With a breaker. And then that's where we propel ourselves again from, because we actually had an unmitigated or untouched, fresh, hidden base on the daily right above this liquidity point. You see what I'm trying to say? So whilst we did in fact react, right, we came right back into an area of, yo, we should probably not just keep foolishly selling down. There's an area of demand. We either take our profits from the sells or we start hunting some more buys, because we do understand that there is in fact a daily hidden base up here, again coupled with a breaker, right? That is unmitigated, and price could potentially hit there. So when you see this is a daily setup, is it not? Price hits there. Am I gonna go straight like this? I don't even think my trading view can go up there yet. Am I gonna go straight away like this and be like, oh, M15 breakout, price comes back? In this case, worked beautifully. And I know what you guys are thinking. Avi, you just proved yourself wrong. Find me 50 examples where you're using a daily, weekly zone and you're going to the M5, M1, M15, and you still actually manage to get yourself a trade consistently and get it to last. You won't find many. You're going to be stopped out more often than you're not, which is why exactly I say it is an imbalance, by the way, all the way to the wick top, which is where I keep my stop loss. And you can see how this works, right? And of course, you have your liquidity right there. In this case, this worked beautifully on the M15. But what would I do, or what would I have done back then, all right, to be consistent? There we go. What would I do back then to be consistent with how I'm doing my trades? When I'm dealing with, for example, a daily zone, I love to wait for a H4. Now, for all of those guys thinking, oh man, you know, I don't want to miss the trade, don't worry, because we have ourselves our SH. We have ourselves a breakout, right? Or SH meaning stop hunt, by the way, breakout, and then of course our inducement. Okay, and price hits back to whatever POI you're having on a higher time frame. In my case, viewing it from this, you wouldn't have had much at all. Let's see, there we go. So in here we have a clear OB POI. Right? You can look for lower time frame QMs in here, or just enter right away. I will never understand why, because you see, right? what's your setup gonna be? What's your setup gonna be? This is a H4 bearish QM from a daily strong high. What's your setup gonna be? Aggressive, by the way. Weak low. You're still getting 1 to 9, bro. Like, why are you fretting over a 12 pip stop? I would be perfectly fine with that, right? But anyway, if you guys want to, go with precision and stuff, it's fine. But what I wanted to show you guys with that example is it pays to be patient. If you're not confident with entering right away here, nothing wrong with that. It pays to be patient, okay? But let's go back to the breakdowns of mine. So when I observe things, okay, I refine my daily demand to this H4, all right? And all I did was wait for a H4 strong low to be made. Now, it depends on your experience and your eyes, but for me, I mean, this is clearly a breakout. This is clearly a H4 breakout. There's no question about that, right? What price basically does is something like this. Okay? There's no question about whether this is a H4 structural high or not. That's a H4 breakout, okay? The only thing that's a little bit questionable is whether this could be used as liquidity on the H4, and I can completely understand where you guys are coming from, right? But for me, I viewed it right away as liquidity. Why am I getting percentages? Lord have mercy, give me a second. All right, cool, right? I viewed this as a H4 liquidity. If you didn't, right, then you would have used a H1 strong low. You would have waited for a H1 strong low to be formed, where you can see we have ourselves our infamous stop hunt, okay? We have ourselves our break of significant structure, the high that caused the stop hunt right here. Not this, but up here, all right? And then of course, clearly you can see over here, there's no question about it. Clearly you can see we have our liquidity, okay? And I'll show you guys how this looks in terms of a very simplistic model that we've discussed over and over and over again. Okay, this is all it is. Relax, this is all it is. And of course, inside a higher time frame area, right? So we've taken the stops, broken significant structure, all right? In fact, a better way for me to draw this, I apologize. Okay, that's that. That's literally it. And of course, liquidity taken, structure broken, liquidity inducement, price comes back inside. It could be over here, it could be over here. I received a couple questions. A couple people asking, how do you know if price is going to react here or react from somewhere inside, right? My question is, why the heck does it matter to you? Want to know why I asked that question? Because your stop loss is going to be at the same place though. Unless you're being greedy, then you can't, blame anyone but yourself for being greedy because you wanted a smaller stop, right? But look at this. Your safe low is right here. This is your strong low. Lord have mercy on my typing, bro. Gosh. Okay. And this is your weak high. Right? So why does it matter? Pick a POI, whatever. You want to use your OBs, you want to use whatever the heck, right? And enter from there. Simple as that. And target this. Okay? So what did I do? Well, I did something very simple. I understood that there is a H4 strong low, H4 weak high, and inducement or liquidity. Alright? And all I did was I just waited for a lower time frame QM to finish. Now I understood something. That price actually made a H1 QM. I waited and I understood that price made a H1 QM from this. Can you see this? M5 OB, right? Unmitigated, fresh, never touched before. Price comes in. Okay, now you guys may be wondering, well, what if you wanted to take an M5 QM from this, Avi? Wouldn't I have been stopped out? Well, let's take a look. Would you have been stopped out? Let's find out. Manipulation. What's the high that caused the manipulation? This one. Inducement? Yep, we do have inducement. Price comes back and you enter. Simple as that. Where could you have entered from? Well, we do have this little imbalance here. Where's your stop loss? And again, by the way, hidden base / imbalance plus breaker is kind of good, right? Oh, it's not kind of good, it's really good. Stop loss below. Where are you targeting? Up here. Something like this is what it would look like. That's your first take profit, guys. I'm not saying you can't just say, oh, price is 100% gonna go all the way up here. This is your first take profit. Okay. Now, once that is done, you can't say, once prices come up here, look at what we have. This is relative equal lows. This is relative equal lows. Why do I keep typing percentages? These are relative equal lows, guys, making this whole bullish QM suspect. Okay, and you can see how we kill them off. All of those guys thinking this was a double bottom, all right, break of resistance becomes support, they got destroyed, and then all of a sudden we move. You see how that flows. So once they got taken, guys, once this guy got taken, I was looking, I was, you know what I mean, predatory, if you will. That sounds a bit like, okay, never mind. But yeah, so once they got taken, what did I do on a lower time frame? Incredibly simple. I waited for a bullish QM to form. Again, guys, this is all happening inside. Hold on. This is all happening inside a H4 strong low that is from the daily. All right, refined to a unmitigated M5. I don't know, guys. Nobody, if anyone tells you that they know 100% that price, okay, out of these POIs, price is just gonna completely run through this OB and react from somewhere M5 below that, they are gonna scam you out of your money. I promise you that. Not a single person knows it. I don't care. Not a single person knows exactly that this OB is gonna 100% hold. No one knows. But one thing I can say with a 99% certainty is that this low has a very, very good chance of holding price. And that's all that matters to me, because this is where I consider safely to place a stop. Okay? So again, you can directly enter here, stop loss below, TP above, right? Or wait for lower time frame plays. And all I did personally is this. So you know we took out these sellers, right? Nothing much there, but it is significant to me. And we have our same OQM setup, which is the high that caused the stop hunt. This one, not these guys, this one. No harm in choosing this, but following the strategy, following the mechanical nature of things, that is what you have done. Now you guys may be wondering, well, Avi, there's no inducement, etc. Well, there is. First of all, there just is, right? Because this could have also been a 1 minute setup, right? Furthermore, I can't go back that far, my bad. Furthermore, yeah, there we go. We have ourselves a 3 minute. Furthermore, what did I say in the surfing lower time frames video, which I believe is the 3rd video on my channel, right? What did I say about confirmations in lower time frames? We can have something like, okay, confirmations on lower time frames. We can have something like this. We can have something like, by the way, don't say I never said this stuff. I definitely did say it. We can have something like this. We can have something like this. And of course, something like this. Okay? We never know as retail traders. A lot of people like to say, oh, you know, retail traders, this and that. What you trying to say when you're a smart money trader and you're trying to put down retail, what you mean is that retail logic. Yes, but you are a retail trader, bro. It doesn't matter how institutionalized your concept is. No one cares. You are a retail trader. You don't move the markets, do you? Okay, that's what I thought. You're a retail trader. Step down, all right? You know what I mean? Don't be so arrogant like that, right? But anyway, coming back to this. That is what it was. So I knew that this is a strong low and a weak high, and I knew that if I were to enter in here, stop loss below, my first like major take profit is gonna be up here. So what did I do? M1. I just refined it. Oh Lord, no. There isn't a thing, guys. I'm sorry, I can't go back that far. But you get the point, right? I mean, you get the gist of things. There was an M1 thing in here. It was a wick, but I used the M1. Okay, there isn't a thing there, but you guys get my point. It's a bit embarrassing that I can't go that far, but anyway, coming back to it though, based off, because anyway I took my profits from that, based off of this entry. Now how did I get this entry? Okay, let me tell you guys how I got that entry. Okay. Based off of, because anyway I took my profits from that, so I really don't feel bad that my trading view can't go that far. Alright, what do we have? Strong low, break of structure. Okay, so we have our QM, we trust that, you know what I mean, this low could hold. Right, and besides all of that, H4 we have ourselves a strong low. Okay, and so price breaks up, and it's just very simple at this point. Oh Avi, how is it that your brain just goes straight away there? And you can't say this is hindsight. You literally cannot call this stuff hindsight because I took a trade on it. So yeah, pretty much. I'm trying to teach you guys how it's done, how I view it, all right, or how I viewed it. So when I'm looking at this, what I'm seeing is basically we have a resistance, turned support, bullish engulfing confirmation for retail to enter there, stop loss below, and we come and take that. Did you see what I just said? Hold on a minute now. All right, revert that if you want. I'm not going to repeat it. So price comes below and you can just immediately enter. For me, what I did was that I entered, I believe right around here. Yeah, I entered right around there. I'm not going to tell you guys how I entered or what PO I entered from, but how could you have entered? Well, let me show you how you could have entered. All right, we have this liquidity. Very simple. You could have entered right there. What is this? Stop loss placement. Okay. Aggressive, obviously, because your typical conservative stop loss would be down here, right? Aggressive stop loss placement. Why would we trust this low? Look at what it's taken. Has it taken liquidity? Yeah. Don't worry. Oh, it's equal lows. It's taken. No, don't worry about it. It's taken liquidity here, right? Enough. Done. Zip. You know what I'm saying? It's taken that. Broken the structure. Liquidity inducement. Price comes down. You enter right there with your stop below. What's the harm in doing that? Okay. Let's say you're not confident. Avi, I don't know if price is going to react here. I don't know if price is going to come below here or anything below here. Simple. Wait for yourself some lower time frame plays. Let's go and see what happens on a lower time frame. Again, this is an M15, guys. Just want to put that out there. It's an M15. But yeah, on the M5, you should be. I would probably use the M1. No, not probably. I'm definitely going to be using the M1 when it comes to something as low as the M15. Definitely going to be using the M1. But if you use the M5, you can see we have ourselves our break of structure. We have ourselves our inducement, and we have ourselves our entry right here. This OB, our stop below. Okay, about an 8 pip stop. Okay, what's our target? First target here. Why is this our first target? Because strong low, weak high. Gonna be our first target. Alright, so I'll tell you guys where my entry roughly was, and hopefully that helps a little bit. Yeah, so my entry was around here. I mean, you can see it in the image, right? I'm not trying to bullshit you guys on anything. My entry is right there. So let's just, you know what I mean? Just track the entries a little bit. All right, and this is that. That is this. Okay, very, very simple. We're gonna go over a huge recap after this in a second. 22 minutes. I do not want to make this all too long, but this is gonna be our final, our destination. Basically, it's gonna be our destination. Price heads into daily. Daily refined to H4, right? What exactly is this H4? Stop hunt, BOS, inducement, very high probability. We just mark it. It is high probability. We mark it, okay? Price heads inside is a daily zone. Yeah, you refined it to the H4. I don't care. It's a daily zone, right? Preliminarily, all right? And H4, I don't think I used that word correctly. H4, stop hunt, break of structure, inducement. H4 strong low, H4 weak high, price hits inside, you can enter. What I observed, a little bit of an extra confirmation. I was a bit conservative with that. I had an entry here and I took all my profits up here because I expected some kind of selling to happen in here. Why? Because we took liquidity. I'll cover this in a back testing video. You guys are going to get 2 videos, not today though, and then that will be in a different video. I'm going to back test basically the entire price action, starting from probably here all the way to like, right, what's happening right now, starting from about here probably. Because that's when I really looked at EU, because I was like, ooh, it's in a daily area, let me pay attention. But yeah, a back testing video definitely going to be in view, okay? So you guys really understand. But yeah, over here I took a buy, took all my profits in here for whatever the heck reason. But let's talk about these entries, right? These entries right here. Let's talk about those. So over here we had our first entry, and that was my stop, 100%. So knowing me, I'll do some bullshit like this, okay? Because I'm a conservative kind of guy, right? And so at least I'm being transparent with you guys. You know what Wally Block would do? You know what they would do? They would do something like this. Let me show you. It's funny. This is funny to me. They do some shit like this. Guys, 0.3 pip stop, guys. Oh, look at the R. I can't even see it on TradingView. 156, guys. 156. Oh, guys. Guys, we're running 1 to 400 right now, guys. All right. Come on, man. Don't fall for that shit, okay? No one does that stuff. No one does that stuff. And if they do, they don't do it consistently. I guarantee you that. But yeah, so pretty much that was my entry. And this is my true entry. This is actually my true entry with my truthful stop loss. 3.5 pips or 35 points with major profits taken from here. Why did I take major profits instead of just letting it run? Because I needed to see a break in structure on the daily before I can consider that, oh, we have a strong low because we took this liquidity. This guy took the liquidity, strong low, break above, weak high. Then I can hold, you know what I mean? So yeah. But if you understand ICT's low resistance liquidity and stuff like that based on his channel, go to ICT on YouTube, go and check him out. You understand his low resistance. Price has a good chance of just running it all out. He never said that. Don't tell him that I said that. He's gonna come for me and probably kill me. I'm kidding. All right, so yeah, we have that. It was a 1 to 13, and that was where it made 100% sense for me to hold it, right? Because we have a strong low. In the backtesting video, you guys are gonna thank me so much for it. Like for real, you guys are actually gonna thank me so much for it because it's gonna be filled with sauce. But then what happens is this, okay? Price then takes this liquidity here. This is during the FOMC day, mind you guys. Right here, see? I took the entry here, right? These guys, right? I took the entry right there. This was an incredibly simple trade, like there's no question about it. Super duper simple, okay? All there was is that this low took liquidity from here, broke structure, significant structure, high that caused the low, weak high, strong low, in the usment, because we failed to make a higher high. Why am I using that? I meant to use this. Apologies. Okay. Weak low. Failure to make a high high. Okay, price hits down. Right? What POI do we have here? We have ourselves a beautiful H1. What can we do? Refine the H1. I'm a very simple guy. Guys, I'm incredibly simple. If I see a strong low, and I can refine it to a lower time frame to make a lower time frame agenda where it's like a lower time frame, I said lower time frame like 4 times there, demand or something that I can enter from. I'm just gonna place a limit order with my stop loss below. I'm an incredibly simple guy, okay? But if there's nothing clear or I'm not too sure about my zone, guess what? I'm gonna look for a lower time frame QM, right? And so you can see over here, price never actually came in. So I don't know what you guys are trying to do, but the price never actually came in. And yeah, pretty much after that, you just enter on whatever is low, whatever POI is down in here. Right? So you have what? You have this right here. You have this hidden base. Okay? For me, I can't exactly say what my actual entry POI was, but you can tell. Unmitigated, fresh, bullish OB. See? Unmitigated and fresh. Price made a boom, bullish OB with this candle. Price never comes back and mitigates it. So now we come and take the guy out. Okay, that is it. And what is our target? Of course, we need to figure out our targets. Just for the sake of this YouTube video, let's just assume that my stop loss was this big. It wasn't, but let's just assume it was. Let's see how much you still would have got. 1 to 4, right? And assuming you're risking 1% per trade, which I definitely 100% do risk 1% per trade, then that would be that. I mean, it's really nothing much to it. Why you would be taking your profits here is because you have a strong high. Boom, taking liquidity. Can you guys see a breaker? Boom, bearish breaker, hidden base. Yeah, I'm kind of worried about that. Now you guys may be wondering, oh, Avi, you can see that it clearly just completely smashed through, Avi, so you suck ass. Well, no, it's just that this is an area I'll be concerned. I'll be like, oh crap, resistance could probably occur. If you're wondering why, now in hindsight, that it didn't hold is because we have equal highs. Right? And we have a market maker buy model, but besides that, we have equal highs. So when we're looking at this, right, we would have gotten ourselves 1 to 13. I had a much better risk to reward than this, but just for the sake of the YouTube video, 1 to 13 plus 1 to 4. So you would have taken off, like I personally took off most of my partials here, being 100% transparent with you guys. And then I took off most of my partials over here because I understood what? I understood that we had this H1, H4 strong high, break a structure, inducement of whatever POIs are in this guy, in this high here, and I knew that we could potentially have some kind of resistance. It didn't happen, but I knew that that's the potential, and I'd rather be safe than sorry. Okay, so yeah, I mean that's that. Those are my 2 entries. I had 3, I know, but that's me layering it for a reason. I wanted to split my risk, which is something else you guys wanted me to talk about. But I can't. This video is like 30 minutes long already. 28, yeah, basically 30 minutes long. So I hope you guys understood why. Quick recap. Let's go over this. Weekly discounted of the range. We have our buy range, right? Boop, 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 boop. We're in low prices, weekly bullish OB, right? Daily bullish, a daily strong low with a daily bullish OB POI, refined to a H4, right? Taken out liquidity, broken the structure, inducement of these lower prices. Price hit inside is the daily demand. So you guys really understand it. H4 demand refined from the daily. Guys, it's been refined from the daily. So why is refined in caps? Sorry. A bit selective OCD here and there with me, but right. H4 demand refined from daily. The zone is still daily. You understand? So I can't say, oh, let's just freaking hunt some M1 bullish QMs as a confirmation. You're gonna get wiped, fam. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Uh-oh, you got wiped. All right. That's why I waited. I'm just stalking and waiting. What you guys think is gonna happen is this. Let me show you guys what you guys think is gonna happen. Price is gonna hit in. Okay, I'm not saying you guys. I'm saying people who are FOMO, and I completely agree. I'm not even looking down on anybody. I completely understand what you guys are saying. But you think that if we have a higher time frame zone, price is gonna do something like this on the H4 and then go. No. Well, 9 out of 10 times no, but it's not just gonna fly like this. It's very, very rare that that happens. Okay, probably gonna do some bull crap like this, failure to create a higher high, and then boom, and I go. It's not gonna just fly without you. But you do not want to wait, or you want to have a very beautiful screenshot for the gram or something. I'm not concerned about that stuff. I just trade what I see. Daily POI, daily strong low, refined to H4 strong low, POI, OB, simple as that, / demand. Price enters my daily POI, okay? See how I'm addressing it as the daily POI? I'm waiting for a H4 bullish QM. If you want to be aggressive, because I'm going to be honest, sometimes I do it. If you want to be aggressive, you can do a H1 bullish QM. I'm not a financial advisor. Do not take whatever I say as gospel. I'm here to share my teachings, and if you know what I mean, all that stuff. I'm not a financial advisor. Don't follow what I'm saying. Learn what I'm saying. That's it. I'm just teaching. That's it. Okay. I'm just sharing and spreading information. That's all it is. And yeah, I waited for a H4 bullish QM to form. Strong low, weak high. Once I had the strong low, I waited for price to come inside. I took a buy, took an initial profit over here, and I was liquidated out of all of that. And I don't know if I'm using the word correctly. I took my profits. I think that's what liquidate means, right? I'm sorry, man. I'm just, you know what I mean, wilding right now. I'm off of 2 cups of tea today, so if you're wondering, yeah. And after we had the second strong low here, I knew that, you know what could I possibly face as obstacles would be this H1 strong high. But then when I looked at the H4, wait a second, we failed to create a lower low though. So how can I trust this high? I can't. So I know that I can safely buy, and again, it doesn't mean it's never gonna happen where you just get stopped out, but I knew that 9 out of 10 times I can safely buy and hunt these guys. After I take the liquidity from them, right, I should probably be a little bit careful, you know, just be a little bit careful, that's it. But I realized one thing, this high, I don't need to be scared about it at all, because we failed to create a lower low. That means there's a weak high and I can take my profits there. And that's exactly what happened. After this H1 was formed, I realized, right, we are, you know what I mean, H1 is formed, and we have a strong low on the H1, weak high. Over here on the lower time frame, 30 minute, 15 minute, I'm just tracking price, right? Strong low, weak high, nothing much. Liquidity taken here, strong low, weak high, nothing much here. Up, liquidity here taken, strong low, weak high. I'm like, wait a second, inducement here, price comes back, and I enter. Straight about that. If you guys want to wait for a lower time frame mitigation, I told you guys how you could have looked for that as well. I can't go back, can I? Yes, I can. Cool. Nice. I told you guys, right? 5 minute, liquidity taken. Structure, high that caused the stop on, taken. Liquidity here, inducement, price comes below. Buy limit, stop loss, and we go. That's it. That's literally all there was to my trade, at least. And yeah, hope you guys appreciate this. That's it from me today. Have a wonderful weekend. And yeah, safe trading as always. Stay safe, stay healthy. See you guys next. Oh, and if you want to like my video, it really does help. I just realized it actually gets my reach really out there. So if you guys haven't already, if you guys want to like the video, if you guys didn't like this video, just leave a dislike. It's fine. Comment what you guys want to see, what you think about this video, what you guys want to see next. I'll see which one I can adhere to. All right, see you guys next one. Peace.